We could all use a little help sometimes, but asking for it often makes us feel so uncomfortable. Research shows that people underestimate the odds of getting assistance when they ask for it by nearly 50%. Social psychologist Heidi Grant is the author of the recently published book, Reinforcements: How to Get People to Help You. She says we're actually wired to be helpful, but have to learn the best ways to ask. Heidi Grant, good morning and welcome to the table. You know what I learned after reading your book? That I'm doing everything wrong. Starting with, I always feel that it's a burden to ask somebody to do something, so I hate asking, number one. And number two, I never ask in person. I like an email or a text or a by the by. You said that's wrong.
Yeah, you're kind of doing everything wrong.
Yeah.
The truth is that it's yes, there's an extent to which when we ask someone for their help, we're asking them to put in effort, we're asking them to take time. But for the most part, we're really overestimating that. We're focusing only on that and not thinking about how rewarding it is actually be helpful. There's tons of research that shows there's basically nothing human beings do that's more rewarding and gives them a bigger boost of self-esteem than being helpful. So people actually like helping. They get a warm glow. They get a kick out of it.
But I feel you're putting people on the spot.
I mean, to some extent you are. There is a discomfort when people have to say no, and that is actually part of the reason why asking over email or text is a bad idea, because they're not as on the spot. You know, it's easier for you to ask by email because you feel more comfortable. It's easier for them to say no because they feel more comfortable.
So important. Pick up the phone.
Oh, pick up the phone.
In fact, you've got data that shows a person is 34 times more effective when they ask in person.
Yeah, in person or by phone. It's that live interaction. 34 times more likely to get a yes. And we do this all the time. People ask by email. They'll do the even worse thing, which is send a group email. So send an email to 20 people asking if one of them can help. And everyone just ignores that because they
think
say
somebody else
already helped by now.
Trouble of the commons. Heidi, let me ask you this. Somebody once said you can separate the world into two people. The people who ask and don't mind if you tell them no, and the people who say, oh, no, they're not going to do, I'm not going to ask. And then you shrink off. What distinguishes a person if they're in one camp or another? I mean, are there certain traits that you have that put you in one or the other?
I don't think it's so much. I think it's a little bit life experience. And those people who ask have just sort of caught on to the fact that it's very difficult to be successful in life without asking for a lot of help. And so they've kind of just built that muscle of getting past the discomfort. You know, we talk a lot about how important it is to have a network, right, of allies, and people spend a lot of time building that network to be successful, but then they don't know how to tap into the network by asking those people to actually help them.
And you said don't assume people are mind readers. You have to let people know that you need help.
Yeah, including your spouse and everyone else. The truth is our need for help is far less obvious than we believe it is. It's obvious to us. It's not obvious to anyone else. You have to explicitly ask.
And you say be specific about what your ask is. I can sometimes get an email and I'm like, well, what is it that they want?
Yeah, what do you want?
It's like the worst when someone sends you an email and they say, you know, I'd love to just get together and chat.
Catch up.
Or catch up. And it's like, well, no, you want something.
Just tell me what you want so I can tell you.
Exactly. I'd like to banish the phrase "pick your brain." Too,
oh, right.
I actually say that.
Yeah. Oh no, you are doing everything wrong, Gayle.
I know.
But how about the other? How about the other end of the telescope? So when you're a person, should you make yourself available to help other people? In other words, help lower the barrier for other people so that they might, just as being a friend.
I think that's a really useful thing to do because we do have to recognize people will find it uncomfortable to ask. So if you invite that, it's going to be easier. There is research that shows that you want to be careful, though, because being a giver is a great thing to a point, but some givers can experience a lot of burnout when they give too much and they don't focus enough on themselves. So you want to always strike that balance between giving as much as you can, but making sure you're still taking care of you.
So your best way to ask for help without being a burden to people is what?
Well, to be as explicit as possible, to say this is exactly what I need and exactly how I need it, and then they can feel confident that they can make a decision about whether or not they can help you. Everyone wants to be an effective helper.
Yes.
No one wants to be a bad helper. So the more clear you are, the better.
Heidi, I need Heidi to be an effective helper and help us get out here to the commercial. So thank you. Gayle, thank you.
You're welcome.
Heidi Grant. Reinforcements is on sale now. You are watching CBS This Morning. Thanks for your help. We'll be right back.